getting my workout on here at Catalyst Kinetics Group. And Ben, this is actually where people actually work out at this time of day. How nice. What kinds of things do you do here at Catalyst?
Well, we do a lot of things. We do cycling, aquatics, we do physiological testing, chiropractic, physio, kind of you name it, we do it.
And we're going to feature a lot of it this morning on BT, but let's talk about these bikes. First of all, how are these bikes different than what people might be experiencing from a regular spinning class?
Yeah, well, these bikes are great. They're 100% customizable, so you can bring in the bike measurements from your own bike at home, and we can make this one pretty much an exact replica. And then from the technology we see, we can get a real analysis of your pedaling stroke. So you can see here, Tammy has a really great pedaling stroke. In this circular motion here, we want to see that. It's showing that there's a really good power distribution.
What does mine look like? It looks like a figure 8.
Exactly. Yours is a little peanut shaped, which means you're not really sweeping it through the bottom. What we want to be seeing is you're really, there we go, opening it up like that. We kind of describe it as scraping mud off the bottom of your foot. Gets you really kind of getting through that really efficient pedaling stroke. There we go, you're a pro already.
So really, from this technology, we're able to correct a problem right away. How about the exertion? Like they always say, you know, increase by 80%, and it's usually a perceived rate of exertion. What are we learning actually from the numbers here?
Well, it's great because what we can do is do something like a physiological test or some performance testing, and then what we do is each person is individually tailored for their own workout. So we can see here, Tom has an FTP of 230, while Tammy is 195. That means that they're working at their own 100% for every one of the workouts. So you can be right next to an Olympian and have finished the same exertion level as they would have done.
Fantastic. Well, I better quit working on the peanut pedal stroke. I got to make it more circular here at Catalyst Kinetics Group. We're going to feature some of the more great exercises they have throughout the morning on BT. We'll be right back. You know, it's not just in the padding and the shorts, or perhaps like maybe the natural padding you have. Apparently your butt is not so supposed to be sore every single time you ride a bike. Good morning. We got Carrie here. We got Rob. How you doing?
Very good, thank you.
So when people sit there and they go typically for a bike fitting, I'm talking about the average person going to an average store, what normally happens?
Well, there's different parts of fitting. There's, of course, what we call sizing, which would be done prior to a bicycle being purchased. And then there's, of course, the fit that's done after the bicycle has been purchased.
So most people, when they go to a store, they get kind of lined up and then go on a little test drive. What is this here for?
This is a dynamic fit unit. What's differently here is that we're able to associate a fit based on anatomical measurement. Okay. Length of arms, length of legs, how tall a person is. We put them through a few tests to determine their flexibility.
So Carrie, you've logged a lot of miles or kilometers. First of all, 10 years doing the Ride to Survive. How many kilometers might you ride in a year?
About 10,000 that work on. So.
And the butt's not sore. You're okay.
It's good today, so far.
So Rob, run us through a little bit of kind of some of the gears here. What's happening?
Certainly. Well, for a moment, I'll just make a quick adjustment for Carrie here. He's at a point where we've assessed a position based on his anatomical measurement here. His bike that he's brought in actually has quite a bit different setup. If I can get my mouse to, there we go. This is Carrie's last position on his bicycle. So you can see he's much further stretched out. He's further down in the front end. One of the things we looked at is his lower back was bothering him on longer rides. So we were able to assess a number of positions if we look at the screen here, but this current position that we've gone back to is what Carrie found favorable.
Okay, so basically a good indicator that you might not have the right fit on your bike is perhaps back soreness, maybe knee soreness.
Correct.
And if you have the proper fit, apparently, Michelle, nothing should be sore. That doesn't mean you're not working or getting muscle soreness, right, Carrie?
That's right.
But you shouldn't have any kind of soreness from improper alignment. More details on Catalyst, you can check out their website. And by the way, people can get fitted. You don't have to be a member here. Just give them a call and find out how that's possible. What's the sign that we see everybody into the pool? Notice there's no pee in it. No, I'm just joking. I had to say that joke. But you know, you can learn to swim and improve your performance in as little as, what, 15 feet or so?
Yeah, 15 feet. That's what our pool is.
That's excellent. So we've got I've got Sam in there right now. So who is this kind of training for?
It's for everyone. We actually have a bunch of people that are, Sam's a kind of an experienced swimmer. He's an age group swimmer. He swims all the time. And then we have people that can't put their heads in the water either. So then getting people that can't put their heads in the water all the way up to actually being able to swim an Ironman in little as 10 lessons.
How does this cool work here? Give us a little lay of the
So
land.
what's going on right now is he's basically swimming like a treadmill. So that's the equivalent for running or anything like that. So there's a current that he's swimming against. We can control the current. We can make him swim faster. We can let him swim slower. So it gets everyone from the beginners to the experienced swimmer again.
And he's got a mirror actually that he's able to observe himself on. But the biggest thing here is the screens. What are you able to identify based on looking at these screens here?
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest struggles in swimming is that you actually can't see what you're doing. So being able to, what you perceive and what you're doing is quite different. So we have mirrors on the bottom that he can see what he's swimming. We have a delayed feedback on the wall that he can actually be able to see what he's exactly doing, what we're trying to get him to do. And then we send them videos at home so you can actually see and review what you're doing before you get in the water and train on your own.
And so if someone is training, I guess someone like Sam who's training once a week, he could see a measurable improvement week to week?
You would be able to see a measurable improvement maybe once a month, kind of as you're going through. It's not going to be an instant. It's like anything. It takes a while to actually be able to practice, put it into things that you can actually race, because it's body kind of feel, right? It's not an instant change.
And imagine taking a lesson, Jody and Riaz, where you can have the privacy of a private lesson in a very small space, and start to finish, someone could learn maybe in 4 lessons?
Yeah, so we're looking at someone that can't put their head in the water and actually be able to physically swim. Well, 4 to 10 lessons, someone's going to be right there.
Now, who does that sound like? Riaz, does that sound like you?
Oh, who could?
Anyone can do it, by the way.
Who could that be?
Find out more here at Catalyst, but you could do that. It sounds like he was describing you to the T. That's right. You know, we have actually perfect golf weather and year-round pretty much here in Vancouver. But Kendall, having the perfect shot, hitting that perfect sweet spot is not the same as having a perfect swing. How do we know? I guess we're going to find out how we know when we've had that perfect swing, but really a certain body area is important to identify as well.
Yeah, on my book, Athletic Fundamentals of Golf, I determined that the midline was one of the sort of principles or areas of your body we talk about. So if I can get my lead hand on my midline at impact, I can basically hit the ball straight. The club face will be square. Now if my hands wrap past my midline, we call it a midline wrap, the ball will start to go left. And the opposite fault is what we call a high center of gravity lateral drift. I'll drift high early and my hands will never get on, and that's that slice or the push block that a lot of weekend golfers will struggle with. So we'll give them drills. Keep your feet flat on the ground, let your arms pass your knee and hit the ball. Good leg action is really more static. It doesn't look like you're really doing too much with your legs when they're actually working properly.
So we can learn a lot by the way we're shooting on how the quality of our midline is. And now you've got this great technology, 3D motion technology. How is this helping us?
Exactly. So what we've done is I've got the markers on, and you can see those are represented. They're represented on the screen by the stick man. And if we take C7, which is basically my neck, and a point at the bottom, that tracks my midline. And when we use the technology, we can take a look at how much the midline is moving and where my hands are relative to my midline. So we can actually measure more exactly.
That is amazing. Now, for anyone that wants to increase the strength of their midline, which helps them in everyday life as well as golfing, we've got a great exercise people can try, right?
Exactly. So what we like to do is train technique with motion. So what Jason's doing is an exercise that'll make it instinctual for him to always move with a weight on midline. So that'll transfer. So whether you're picking up the groceries and carrying them, passing a baby is sort of the name of one of the drills. That's what he's doing, is strengthening his instinct and his physiology, so his instinct is always to have the club or the ball or the cable on midline.
So much great information. Jody and Riaz, by the way, you can get your golf swing analyzed. They work through the technology there and also can prescribe a workout to help strengthen those key principles or areas of your body. More details on Catalyst here in Burnaby. You can check out their website.